Hi all, this is Once and Future Gamer, and welcome to another Pokemon challenge. Last time was a run through Gen 7, as I sought to see if I could beat Pokemon Ultra Sun with a single Kamala. Today though, I'm mixing it up and heading over to Kanto to see if I can beat Pokemon Fire Red with a team of Swablu and Spearow. So then, we will start with Swablu. We have a 310 base stat total that is heavily weighed towards defence, with 60 in regular defence and 75 in special defence. Speed is okay at 50, but our health and attack stats are lurking about the 40 to 45 mark. We're normal and flying type, so weak to rock, electric and ice, immune to ground and ghost, plus resistant to bug and grass. Via level up, Swablu gets pretty regular stuff as might be expected, flying and normal moves. We do get Mirror Move, which is more cute than good, plus Perish Song, which could be a good ace on a team run, but how reliable it will be is up for debate. Sing might help us a bit in the early game. Via TM, Swablu does get a few coverage moves, randomly both Ice Beam and Solar Beam, as well as Steel Wing and Thief may be handy. Hopefully we get a good hidden power type. So this is something that I'd imagine I can work with. On to Spearow then, and we have a lower base stat total with 262, but we have a prominent physical attack stat and great speed, but everything else is pretty low unfortunately, so we are going to get hit hard. We have the same weaknesses, resistances and immunities as Swablu due to being the same type combination. Spearow does get Aerial Ace and Drill Peck via level up, but these are about the pick of our level up moves, and unfortunately they are the same type, which doesn't help us much with coverage. Still, anything that doesn't resist flying should get pretty messed up by it in the end game. We don't get that much coverage via TM beyond again Steel Wing. Hopefully that hidden power type is something that can use our good physical attack. I'm not holding my breath, but you never know. I think this one is undoubtedly where I'll be using my return TM. This wasn't a viewer submission folks, but thanks for watching. The rules are on the screen throughout, and as always, if you do enjoy what you see, then like, subscribe and ring that bell. We're also playing this on set mode, so no free switch-ins. Let's get this on. I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Bulbasaur with Swablu so that I can do the whole run with it. We can get Spearow early on, and Swablu aren't native to Kanto. I chose to replace Bulbasaur because I flipped a coin between who'd be harder to fight between Charizard and Blastoise, and Charizard won. There's probably not much in it. I nicknamed the Swablu Cloud. Looking at the wings, that should be pretty obvious why. Cloud has the lax nature, so more defence, less special defence. That makes pretty much no difference to me whatsoever, so that's fine, whatever. There's also the rival fight pretty soon after this, so it should be pretty even. He has a starter, we're probably about on par with one, give or take, base stat total wise, maybe a bit better. The Charmander is faster than us, which not particularly nice, but we only get hit with a scratch and a growl and we shrug them off. We crit our second peck to completely wipe out the Charmander, and that gives us a nice early win. After a quick array of travelling, I get Pokeballs and go catch a Spearow. We can get this pretty early on, so it's why I didn't bother with the randomizer for it. Well, as I said, that and it'd be difficult to catch a Swablu in Kanto, and by difficult I mean nigh on impossible. I nicknamed the Spearow Spear, which is pretty unimaginative. We have the bashful nature, so neutral gains, and also the keen eye ability, so we are not losing accuracy. Right then, time to train, and since we have a rock gym first, this is not going to be even slightly pleasant, since they resist all our stab and can hit us for super effective damage. I want to get us trained up as much as possible. I fancy doing what is essentially a tag team run with something that is native to the region and something that isn't. I thought it'd be a fun idea. I mean, there's quite a big base stat total between these two, difference-wise, but that makes it all the more interesting for me. And they're both birds that aren't the regional birds, but could be. Well, this is more for Spearow than Swablu. I'd put Wingull as more the secondary regional bird of Hoenn than Swablu. I'd say Swablu is more on a par with something like Doduo as a Kanto equivalent. I'm not helping my case here, am I? Anyway, I had the idea. Originally, this was going to be a Swablu solo run, but I changed it. Enjoy the show, folks. There's not long before I do the rival fight and begin with Spearow to face Pidgey. I don't know if it has Sand Attack yet or not, but what I do know is that it won't matter if it does, and the two of us trade blows in what has to be the ultimate grudge match of the two Kanto regional birds. Mine knocks it out, but we are hurt in the process. We fight Charmander and keep up the pecks, but it counters with scratches. It's not enough for it though, and soon we take the Charmander down as well using Spear. Travelling through the forest, I'm still training up because of the rock gym ahead. I've already said why this might be problematic, but I think we'll have some pretty plain sailing all through the next bit of the game, once that is out of the way. Well, that's what I believe anyway. Water gym shouldn't be an issue, and there's a lot of trainers between me and the electric gym. That's famous last words about the water gym in Kanto, isn't it? Rock gym time then, and I've got both members of my team to level 18 just to account for the type disadvantage. Rock begins with his Geodude and I begin with Swablu, just to be sure. We go for Sing to put Geodude to sleep and then start spamming Growl. He does wake up after a few turns and go for Defense Curl, but we put it back to sleep and continue the arduous process of wrecking its attack stat. I know we are going to have to go on the offensive at some point. Astonish won't do huge damage, particularly with the defense curls, but at least it isn't a type resistance. We do take some damage over the course of the fight. Geodude does get a crit a few turns before the end, but we only lose 11 HP before we take Geodude down, and now we have to face Onix. We miss Sing, because of course, before getting hit with Rock Tomb and Bind. They don't do much damage, but I'm worried about our health getting chipped down. We do get Onix to stay asleep a few turns while we spam our Growl, but when it wakes up, we manage to get it back to sleep. Spearow has bad defense. I think I'll need it to finish the fight, so Onix hitting as softly as possible is going to be handy. We do bottom out Onix's attack and hit a few Astonishers to take out about a quarter of its health, and then Cloud goes down to Rock Tomb. Spear comes in, we go for a Leer and then start spamming Pecks. Thankfully, the blows we do get hit with don't cause a huge amount of damage, but the speed loss to Rock Tomb is annoying. Over the course of the fight, we do manage to whittle Onix down, losing slightly over half our HP in the process, but it doesn't take much to bring it down and give us the first badge. We've got travelling next as we head into Mount Moon. I do pick up the Thief TM in here for Swablu, since it will give us a better way of hurting rock types for the moment. I make sure to fight everyone I can, since we've got two normally hard fights coming up. And of course, I make the choice between the Dome Fossil and the Helix Fossil. Well, it has to be done, doesn't it? In Cerulean City, I have the choice between Misty and the Rival, and I don't think we're ready for the former just yet, so I make the choice to go after the latter. We stroll up to Nugget Bridge, ready to throw down, and I begin with Spearow to face Pidgeotto. I know it has a Sand Attack, so I'm not taking any chances. Sand Attack memes are a regular thing now. We trade blows and we just about manage to overpower his bird, though we lose quite a lot of health in the process to Gusts and Quick Attacks. Rattata is second and it spams 2 Quick Attacks. Although we do hit a Peck, the second Quick Attack drops us and I send Swablu in. Rattata goes down to Peck and Charmander is third. We hit a Thief for little damage and then get countered with Ember. I switch to Peck attacks instead and do decent damage. We do get hit with a Growl and another Ember, but can free hit the Charmander. Abra, of course, isn't a problem as we 2-hit that with Thief. I do some training north of Cerulean and then swing by the gym to face Misty. I've taught Spearow Secret Power to improve our moveset, and this is pretty handy in gym battles because of the chance of paralysis. I lose the first attempt, but the second one plays out better. We one-hit Staryu with Secret Power. Starmie is faster though and wipes out just over half our health with Water Pulse, but when we hit the Secret Power, though the damage isn't massive, we manage to get the paralysis. It stays paralysed for 2 full turns, never attacking, We use Leah twice and then we smash it down for the count with a secret power to give us a win over Misty and claim the second badge. I head south of Cerulean next and start catching my Meowth pickup brigade. The items they get me are always useful, including rare candies, PP ups, and this is also the only way to get the hidden power TMs, I believe. And on the subject of that, after much experimentation, I discovered that Swablu has the dark type hidden power, which may be useful. We already have Thief, but meh, I'm not keen on Thief. Thief got buffed in later gens, but it's pretty weak here. I also test Spearow's hidden power and discovered very quickly that Spearow has the ghost type hidden power, so that may also be useful somewhere. I'm holding off on hidden power for the moment. It's not going to be something we need right at this moment in time. It is time for the SSN rival fight then, and I'm definitely confident that this won't be an issue. We begin with Spearow to face Pidgeotto, and although we do get hit with quick attack, it's a simple matter to strike back with secret power and aerial ace to bring it down for the count very easily. Raticate is a one-shot knockout with secret power, and so on the next turn is Kadabra. So that's just Charmeleon left, and though it survives secret power to hit Growl, we follow up with aerial ace to drop it and give us the win. Electric Gym might be tricky, to the point we did lose a first effort thanks to the combination of paralysis and double team, but the second effort goes something like this. Voltorb goes down to secret power from Spearow, and so on the next turn when it comes out does Pikachu. Raichu survives secret power and hits Thunder Wave, followed up by double team, but we neither end up paralysed nor do we miss our follow-up secret power, and the Raichu goes crashing down in defeat for the third badge. Trivia time then! Spearow shares its category with Pidgey, Natu and Rookidee. They are all known as the tiny bird Pokemon, although Natu has also been called a little bird Pokemon. Spearow is tied with Hoothoot, Ledyba, Tailo, Wingull, Starly and Pikipek for the lowest base defense of all flying type Pokemon. Spearow seems to be based on a sparrow with characteristics of a shrike such as the hooked beak. Spearow's name may be a combination of spear and sparrow. Spearow famously made its debut in the first ever anime episode where a flock of them tried to murder Ash and Pikachu. They are territorial, as we saw in that first episode, and will stand up to larger Pokemon to protect their territory. However, they're apparently inept at flying due to their short wings. They have a loud cry that can be heard over half a mile away. Swablu, on the other hand, is the only normal type Pokemon that evolves into a dragon type. It may be based on a bluebird combined with cotton or a cloud. It shares traits with the ultramarine lorikeet, and behaviourally it is similar to the Canada Jay in that they are both given to sitting on people's heads. Swablu's name may be a combination of swab, blue, and may also involve swallow. They are very clean Pokemon and will wipe dirt from its surroundings if they aren't clean. As previously mentioned, they like to land on people's heads and sit there. Several Pokédex entries mention how they like to act like a hat. I decide to try the rival fight while I am in Lavender Town. It would be rude not to while I am here. As per has been the case so far, I start with Spearow to face Pidgeotto just to nullify that sand attack risk. Although we do get hit with Gust, we can take Pidgeotto down with Secret Power and Aerial Ace in short order. Gyarados is second. We paralyse it with Secret Power and land a Leah, though we do get smashed with Thrash in the process, but we can finish it off with another Secret Power. We inflict big damage on Execute with Aerial Ace, but we can't one-hit that. We get hit with Hypnosis and then blasted with Confusion twice while we are asleep to be defeated. Cloud comes in then. We strike Hidden Power to end Execute before Kadabra is fourth. It survives Hidden Power and goes for Disable, prompting the need for us to finish it off with Peck. Charmeleon is last then, and although our Pecks don't do a huge amount of damage, it turns out Charmeleon can't really hurt us either. We shrug the embers off and 4 Pecks are enough to bring it down. We do not even get knocked down to half health by a similar number of fire attacks. On the road to Celadon City then, and I've been fighting every trainer so that I can hopefully afford the Ice Beam TM when I get there, since that will greatly improve Swablu's offensive capabilities. I can't see the grass gym being an issue, even if we can't afford Ice Beam yet. Ice Beam though would make the Giovanni fight easier as well, since otherwise the only other real option for combating his rock types would be Hidden Power, and the damage on that is questionable. Anyway, there'll be the choice between Sylph and the Poison Gym after that. I don't think the Poison Gym is going to be easy, but we will see. Psychic Gym may not be too bad, but I think we will struggle with the Fire Gym. In Celadon City then, with Ice Beam learned, I decide to head into the Grass Gym and face off with Erica. I have a Cherry Berry on Spearow just in case. Cloud can get rid of status conditions by switching out, so that's no problem. I start with Swablu and go for Safeguard to block Victreebel's Stun Spore, and then we blast the plant with Ice Beam for a one-shot knockout. Tangela is second and doesn't survive Ice Beam either, prompting a final showdown with Vileplume, who survives Ice Beam, but then tries to stun Spore us while Safeguard is still up, and we can take it out with another Ice Beam. The Giovanni fight is what I go for next, and I'm not anticipating huge amounts of trouble as I previously said. I begin with Cloud to face off with Onyx, and we shoot it down with Ice Beam for a one-shot knockout. Rhyhorn is out second and doesn't do any sort of better as we take it down in one hit. Kangaskhan is made of sterner stuff though, tanking our Ice Beams. She survives 3 of them before finally succumbing to the 4th, but she never really hurts us in exchange, only going for bites, which is weird since that's a special move in this game, and Kangaskhan is not really a special attacker. Weird. Oh well. Moving on. I've got Pokemon Tower to explore next and its final preparations before I start the long journey south to Fuchsia City. I'm going to head down there and at least make some efforts to see how we do versus Koga. But if we can't manage it just yet, then we can swing back around to clear out Sylph and deal with the rival. I just think Koga's Muck is going to be an annoying beast, since it likes to raise its defense, boost its evasion and poison us. It makes it tricky to take out without getting a lucky crit or having super effective moves. Well, we might be able to brute force him come that point. Let's find out then. I feel like this is going to be rough either way, but we need to see. I begin with Cloud versus Coughing number 1, and we go for Ice Beam, but it survives on a Sliver and hits Sludge. Thankfully, no poison, but it wouldn't really matter too much anyway. We get Koga to waste a healing item, and we take Coughing out with Peck and another Ice Beam. Versus Muck, we hit Ice Beam, but it goes to Minimise. I use Safeguard to block the Toxic coming our way, and then switch into Spear to face off with Muck as it goes for Acid Armour. We land 2 Aerial Aces as it goes for Minimise once again, but the second Aerial Ace crits to drop it. We smash Coughing number 2 with Secret Power, but it survives and hits Sludge. Another Secret Power does drop it though. We hit Wheezing with a crit Secret Power and paralyse it at the first attempt. Koga drops a full heal, but unfortunately our second Secret Power doesn't take it out, even if we do have to watch him heal it again repeatedly. We do just keep hitting the Wheezing with Secret Power after the Hyper Potion. We get hit with Toxic, we lose a lot of our health in the process, but eventually we land an Aerial Ace to take it down. Going through Sylph then, it's that time to talk about what's ongoing with the channel. I'm writing this in late January, recording in mid-February, so it's a bit hard to describe what might have happened by the time this airs in late February. Eternal Darkness had ended. I'd probably uploaded my playthrough of Injustice 1. I might even have started uploading my playthrough of Simpsons Hit and Run by this point. I have been playing and recording Man-Eater, which has been a fun experience. Next Pokemon challenge is going to be a Crystal one. It's going to be a single Pokemon one, and it's going to be Pokemon Crystal with a single Chinchou. Chinchu, I don't know how you pronounce that. It'll probably flip-flop between on the recording of the video with that, but we'll see. As always, if you have any ideas for future challenges, I want to do more of these tag team runs with Pokemon that are similar in BST, typing, appearance, so there's a lot of fun potential with it, but not necessarily related, so shout out if you have any ideas. I know I kinda did one ages ago in Emerald that was Machop and Makahita. Let's not talk about that run because half of that was horrific. One idea I had but not sure of the game was Abra and Ralts, but I'll work the finer details of that out later. It's time for the Sylph rival fight then, and this could be interesting since his team is all grown up now. Mostly anyway. He begins with Pidgeot and I start with Spearow. We do pretty good damage with Secret Power, about 3/4 of its health, but we get hit with Feather Dance. For some reason, I try to finish it off with Steel Wing, and it survives and hits Wing Attack before we take it out with Aerial Ace. Gyarados is second, I swap into Swablu and we get hit with Dragon Rage. Our Ice Beam doesn't do great damage, but we can weaken it with repeated Peck Attacks until we put it on Red Health, and then I decide to swap back into Spearow. We get hit with Dragon Rage, but Aerial Ace it down. Charizard takes over half its health in damage from Secret Power, but ends Spearow with Flamethrower, meaning Cloud has to come in. Ice Beam and Peck do take it down, but we get hit with a scary face to lose speed and then get dropped onto Red Health with Flamethrower. Execute is a one hit with Ice Beam. Alakazam probably could have beaten us if it had attacked, but only went for a Calm Mind and 2 Future Sights, while we did blast it with Hidden Power and 2 Peck Attacks to take it down. There is the Giovanni fight straight after, and I've got a Peachy Berry on Spearow, just to be on the safe side in this fight because Poison is a risk. He begins with Nidorino. We do massive damage with Secret Power, but do get poisoned by his counter attack. We heal with the Berry and then drop it with Aerial Ace. Rhyhorn goes down to 2 Steel Wings, but we do lose some health to getting hit with Stomp. Kangaskhan is a 2 hit with Secret Power, but we do get hit with Fake Out and Tail Whip before Nidoqueen is last. We start spamming Secret Power on her. We lose some health to a Poison Sting before being taken down by Double Kick with her on Red Health, but Cloud can come in and peck her down. I will fight Sabrina while I'm here, and I'm not anticipating much in the way of issues since her team is pretty frail and we can hit reasonably hard with Spearow. Kadabra goes down to a crit Aerial Ace, and so on the next turn does Mr. Mime. Again, entirely expected. Venomoth doesn't survive Aerial Ace, and neither at the end does Alakazam. Easy, 6 badges down. Next, I toddle off towards Cinnabar Island and work my way through the mansion. I think Blade might be quite hard actually, but we shall see. You can never tell. And then there'll be another Giovanni fight after, which could go either way. And we saw how the last rival fight went, which we did win, but it was close, so how will the Route 22 one go? I'll do this. I have a suspicion about whether this challenge has been done before or not, but I will check. Yeah, I couldn't find an example of this challenge being done where someone did Fire Red with Swablu and Spearow. I found individual runs with both Pokemon, but not a team run, and I think I said it before, originally this was going to be a Fire Red with a solo Swablu run, because Swablu is one of those Pokemon I have wanted to run a challenge with for quite a while, randomly. There's like a long list, there's actually quite a lot of Gen 5 Pokemon on that list, but since I've not worked out to make something back compatible, I know there's certain YouTubers that have done like Gen 1 challenges with Gen 5 Pokemon, etc, etc, but might be a bit beyond my skill that, so no comments. Anyway, Blaine then. I decide to start with Cloud to weather some hits and suck up the Intimidates from Growlithe and Arcanine. Hopefully we can get him to waste his healing items early and take out enough of Arcanine's health to Spearow to come in and finish. Anyway, Growlithe is first and we are intimidated. We hit Peck and Hidden Power to put it on Red Health but get tagged with 2 Fire Blasts. He heals, but 2 more Hidden Powers, the second a crit, bring it down. Ponyta is second. 2 Hidden Powers sandwiching a Peck are enough to bring it down for the count, though it does miss 1 Fire Blast and hit us with another to continue inflicting damage. Rapidash is third. We do keep up the pressure, landing pecks and hidden powers, but neither of them do much damage, and eventually we do drop the Rapidash into a healing range and gets Blaine to burn his second Hyper Potion. Rapidash misses 3 Fire Blasts in this fight. We do get hit with one though, but ultimately we bring it down. Arcanine intimidates us again, so Peck really isn't going to do a lot. We do spam Hidden Power, but again, those moves don't do a lot, so it's a case of having to wear it down with attrition. Hit it enough times that we can empty its health bar. It does miss 3 Fire Blasts and lands 2 though, but we do get dropped onto red health by the second Fire Blast. However, we can hang on and take it out. Giovanni then for the last badge, and somehow I don't think we'll have an issue here. I toyed with teaching Cloud Solar Beam, but holding off for the moment. Anything Solar Beam would hurt, Ice Beam will be fine against. Well, apart from water types, but no comment. Giovanni begins with Rhyhorn, and we Ice Beam it down for the knockout. His second Rhyhorn also gets one hit with an Ice Beam for the knockout, and so when it comes out third does Dugtrio. Nidoqueen is fourth and is bulky enough to survive an Ice Beam on low health, forcing Giovanni to go into a cycle of spamming potions to try and keep her alive until we hit a hidden power to chip out a small chunk of her health and then end her with another Ice Beam. Nidoking is last, and it is a one-shot with Ice Beam for that last badge. We lose the first attempt at the Route 22 rival fight thanks to Spearow being one-hit crit by Charizard right at the end, but the second attempt plays out much better and goes something like this. Pidgeot survives Ice Beam from Cloud and hits Wing Attack, but we strike Aerial Ace to take it out. I upgraded my move. Rhyhorn goes down to an Ice Beam in one hit before Execute goes down to Aerial Ace. Alakazam tanks Hidden Power while going for Calm Mind and failing with Disable. It is faster than us, but Aerial Ace brings it down for the count. Gyarados is 5th, and we don't have a great answer for it beyond spamming Ice Beam. We can 4-hit it with Ice Beam and Hidden Power, but it puts the rain up and lands 2 Hydro Pumps for decent damage before we face Charizard at the end. We can shrug some flamethrowers off from Charizard thanks to the rain, but the downpour stops halfway through the exchange. We do tank 4 flamethrowers and eventually we end up on red health, though we have hurt it badly with Ice Beams. It tries to end us with Slash, we survive on barely any HP and hit another Ice Beam before going down to Wing Attack with Charizard on what has to be 1 HP. Spearow comes in and flattens Charizard with Aerial Ace for a bit of a tap-in of a victory. I'll take it though. Going through Victory Road, let's have a look at what's ahead Elite Four wise. So, Lorelei I can see being problematic since her team is going to be quite bulky. This is perhaps one area where Solar Beam would be useful, but it's going to take 2 turns to charge, and she does have stab super effective damage for us from most of her Pokemon. So, the only other option would be to go for Sunny Day, which isn't going to last since some of her Pokemon can change it with Hail. And also, I don't want to flip my moveset unless I have to. Bruno should be easy. Agatha, again, shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. Once we get past Lancer's Gyarados, we should be fine, as long as Cloud doesn't get outsped, which we almost certainly will by the Aerodactyl. We'll have to see. Rival fight, champion battle, we've done okay so far, so hopefully that trend continues. As I stand in the Indigo Plateau, here is my team. Both my Pokemon are at level 75. Swablu has decent defences, but both our attack stats are somewhat lacking and we're not the fastest either. For Spearow, our speed is excellent, our attack is pretty good for what we are, but we are frail, so mixed bag. All I can say is, take your guesses on if we can do it at this level or not. Right now folks, let's get this on. Ice Trainer Lorelei is first, and given I've got 2 flying types, this may absolutely shock you to discover that this goes really badly in the first instance. So, as I said, we have got 2 diametrically opposing Pokemon. Swablu can tank a few hits but can't really hurt her bulky team. Spearow can inflict some decent damage but take maybe 2 ice type attacks at most before going crashing down in defeat. I make several attempts at her. We do make it to Lapras a few times, but we've taken too much damage over the course of the fight and end up going down in defeat, and so I retreat to train up. I come back eventually with my team trained up. I make a few attempts throughout, but when it comes to the winning run, both my birds are at level 87. It still takes a few attempts even at this level before we get success. Spearow begins the winning run versus Dugong. Unlike Swablu, Spearow can 2-hit Dugong with Secret Power and Aerial Ace. It only puts the hail up in exchange. Slowbro is a 2-hit with Secret Power, only going for Amnesia in exchange, which is definitely handy. Secret Power one-shots Jinx. I'm not surprised at that because she's frail. We strike Lapras with a Leer and then get taken out with Ice Beam. Cloud comes in, we trade an Aerial Ace versus Lapras's Ice Beam. Our first Aerial Ace does less than half, but the second one crits for a knockout. Cloyster is a 2-hit with Hidden Power, but it takes 4 turns to achieve that result thanks to it messing around with Protect. The only turn where it attacks, it goes to Spikes, but we soon take her out for the win. Fighting Trainer Bruno is second, and I'm really not worried at all. Fighting types shouldn't be a problem here, but he does have rock moves and rock types to potentially complicate things. I pick Cloud to begin the battle since Swablu has the best way of dealing with the Onix at the start, and we duly one-shot it with an Ice Beam to put us into battle with Hitmonchan. It survives Aerial Ace and hits Rock Tomb, but I know Bruno is going to heal, so I switch into Spearow. Spearow does one-shot Hitmonchan with Aerial Ace and also puts Machamp on red health with the same move, while it goes to bulk up and eats the Citrus Berry. Another Aerial Ace strikes it down. Hitmonlee is a single hit takedown with Aerial Ace before Onix number 2 is last. 2 Steel Wings do bring it down, but we do get hit with Double Edge in exchange. 2 down. Ghost Trainer Agatha is third, and I think we should be fine here. We should have enough to get past her. Immunity to Ghost possibly isn't as handy as you'd think here, given Ghost moves were physical and the Gengar line aren't really physical attackers. I know Gengar number 1 is going to double team, so I go for Leer, and then after it has double teamed, we strike Aerial Ace to down it. Golbat gets paralysed by Secret Power and then hits Air Cutter. We finish that off with Steel Wing. We hit Arbok with Secret Power after being intimidated, but get poisoned by Sludge Bomb. I switch into Swablu, who has to shrug off Iron Tail but freezes Arbok with Ice Beam. Agatha does heal, but we put Arbok back onto red health with Aerial Ace and Ice Beam before being hit with Sludge Bomb. Hidden Power takes Arbok out. We start hitting Gengar number 2 with Hidden Power and Aerial Ace attacks, but we are slower and do get tagged with Sludge Bomb attacks. Thankfully, they don't do much damage. We evade Hypnosis and take Gengar down with 2 Aerial Aces after Agatha heals it. Haunter is last. We hit Hidden Power and then it takes itself out with Curse. Result, I guess. Dragon Trainer Lance is next, and I have the perfect move for him. My biggest worry is Gyarados at the start, but I have a plan in place. I begin with Spearow, who gets intimidated, and then we start to spam Leer on it. I go for 3 of them. Gyarados dances around with Dragon Rage and Bite, which we can shrug off, and then it promptly escalates with a Hyper Beam that drops Spearow, so it's all up to Swablu. Our Aerial Ace isn't quite a one-shot on Gyarados. Lance heals, and then we put it back on red health. I try to take Gyarados down with Hidden Power, but he switches into Aerodactyl, who weathers the blow easily. We then get outsped and hit with Ancient Power, but Aerodactyl survives Ice Beam and hits Hyper Beam. We hit another Ice Beam to take it down. Ice Beam takes out Dragonair number 1 before Gyarados is back out, and although we're intimidated, we pick up where we left off and take it down with Hidden Power because it's weak. Dragonite goes down to a crit Ice Beam, not sure if the crit was necessary, and the second Dragonair goes down to Ice Beam as well to put us into the champion battle. But the champion battle, unfortunately, is a bridge too far though, as we don't hit hard enough to be able to get over most of his Pokemon without getting hit back repeatedly. We take a lot of damage over the course of the fight, and although there are some attempts where we do make it to the Charizard at the end, we've been beaten up badly enough that it's a case of too much too soon. So I have no choice but to go off and level. Gyarados causes us a lot of issues in these attempts, plus Alakazam is problematic. So, training. I come back to the rival fight once again, having trained up. Swablu is at level 98, Spearow is at level 93. This is possibly excessive, but I've got enough rare candies left to max out both their levels in case this isn't enough. He begins with Pidgeot and we start with Cloud, hitting an Ice Beam that takes the big bird out in one hit. Rhydon is second and we blast it down with Ice Beam for a one-hit knockout. Spearow wouldn't be able to deal with Rhydon in one hit, not even with Steel Wing. Alakazam is third and we hit Hidden Power for over half its health while it goes for Reflect. Another Hidden Power drops it where it stands. Executor goes down in one shot to a crit Ice Beam and Gyarados is next. We are levelling stupidly fast in this fight as we hit both 99 and then 100. We hit an Aerial Ace and an Ice Beam on Gyarados but don't do much damage with either. We take some hits in retaliation, but then we crit an Ice Beam to bring the Gyarados down for the count. And finally, we're facing Charizard. We hit 2 Ice Beams and an Aerial Ace on the big fiery lizard, but the Citrus Berry takes it out of knockout range. And although we are hurting it, those Fire Blast attacks hurt a lot, and 3 of them are enough to bring Swablu down. Spearow comes in with Charizard on red health. I know he's going to heal, so we go for a Leer while he uses the full restore, and then we one-shot Charizard with Return. And with that, we've won the run, we can enter the Hall of Fame, and we can draw a line underneath this. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed it for sure. I mean, it was different. We'll do more of these tag team runs throughout the year with the same but different. That's probably the marker I'm going with. I've got an idea for an Emerald one and another one for Fire Red that I might already have mentioned somewhere. But yeah, tag team ideas. If you have them, shout them out. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, call out with a comment and smash that subscribe button. Next time, I'm going solo again as I see if I can beat Pokemon Crystal with a single Chinchou. Join me for that. As always, if you have any ideas for future challenges, head to the comment section down below. Follow the links in the description to my Twitter or my Discord. Yeah, just again, thanks for watching, folks. I'm going to jump off here. Thanks for joining me. Next time, I will see you. So, bye-bye, so long, farewell, ta-ra.